It's 8-bit, you little shit, that's right, punk. Just rage and quit, I don't care, don't give a fuck. It is time for me to go level up. It's 8-bit, you little shit, that's right, punk. Just rage and quit, I don't care, don't give a fuck. It is time for me to go level up.
I am so tired right now. I'm exhausted. It's 2 in the morning. So I've talked about Home Alone games and the Dennis the Menace game, but now we're finally going back to the original Blonde Boy. We're going back to Culkin. This is a game based on one of his movies from the 90s. I think it was Disney. Disney probably owns it right now, I guess. It's called the PageMaster, and we're looking at the SNES version. This game is a platformer where you play as Macaulay Culkin. It looks like it's the exact same sprite from one of the Home Alone games. For fuck's sake, I mean, it even looks like the sprite of Dennis from the Dennis the Menace game. But I guess in the movie, he gets sucked into a book or something like that. He comes across a bunch of talking books. I've never seen this movie. I'm looking at pictures of it right now. But in the first level, you're supposed to be in a horror book or something like that. I don't read books, because who needs book knowledge when you got street knowledge? But you're running around in what looks like a dark cave, kind of like that level in Lester the Unlikely. Except this one has even shittier jumping controls. I didn't even think that was possible. One of the power-ups you get in this game is a new pair of shoes. And like, look at the shit that he's wearing, man. Those look like some damn Timberlands dipped in some blue tar or some shit. What is that? Is this one of these fucking slime channels on YouTube? Is that like a clickbait video or something? Like, oh, new pair of Timbs dipped in blue slime at 3 a.m. But like I mentioned earlier, the jumping controls in this game are whack as hell. Like, there is such shit precision with these jumps. I don't know what it is. I mean, after people have made such great platformers, you think there would be like some kind of guideline on what it would take to make good platformers. It's also one of those games where you have to get one of the weapons so that way you can just breeze right through the level, because if you don't have the weapon, in this case it's a sack of marbles, if you ain't got that shit, you're fucked half the time, because you have these book monsters jumping around and trying to kill your ass, and then you got these things that are falling down like these beakers of acid, and even bats are coming after you. Yeah, another thing like in Lester the Unlikely, you got bats. I could have sworn that was also in one of the Home Alone games. What is it with bats going up against Macaulay Culkin? Like, I kept getting stuck on this one part where you're supposed to go under a shelf that has a wobbling bottle of acid or some kind of green liquid that's gonna kill you. It's Nickelodeon slime or something. But every time you get hit, it kills you. It's one of those things where even if it just simply touches the ground and it hasn't evaporated yet, it still kills you. Another thing that sucks about the location design in this level is it's supposed to be a dark cave, and sometimes you just bump into things like that are clearly not there. Like, you'll just be on the edge of a platform and the game just treats it like, oh, you're walking into a wall. I just barely finished the first level, but to make sure that this wasn't just a shorter review, kind of like the Barbie one I did last month, I decided I would try different versions of the game, and I found a couple of them. There's apparently a Game Boy Advance game, which was actually kind of better. I mean, this is a console game, and the Game Boy version was better. There's also a version on Sega Genesis, and I played through the first 2 levels just to compare and contrast, and I gotta say, while it is basically the same game, I think that this one's better just because the level design's a little bit easier to fuck around with. I mean, it's already a step in the right direction that the background isn't just pitch black. That and the controls actually do work a lot better in this one. There's a little bit more to do. You can also like climb on stuff. There's platforms you have to jump on that can move you from one to the other. The SNES version has that too, but I like the way that they did it in this version better. It's so weird because I'm usually a Nintendo boy at heart, but sometimes these Sega Genesis games are actually better than their SNES counterparts, and I would say this is one of them. I mean, just based on the first 2 levels, I actually did like this one more so than the SNES version. And now for the weirdest one of the bunch, there is apparently a PageMaster game for the PC, which is way different than any of the versions of the game I just showed y'all. This one is like an old CD-ROM game that's a point-and-click game, and they have these animated cutscenes where they actually have voiceover. And listen to this shit.
This is definitely not good. Did you know that 3% of accidents occur in poorly lighted areas?
They're not even trying to hide that that's not Macaulay Culkin.